Before we wander on into the episode, I just want to make sure that everyone goes out there and hits up the YouTube, check out the Spotify, check out Apple, wherever you're listening or watching to this podcast, is to go down, like it, subscribe, hit the bell if it's YouTube. Make sure you're getting those reminders. We do put these out every week. So make sure you do all that. It helps us out. And in the long run, we can make better things. So again, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Right? You can almost always get a moment where you feel like it's just you and the forest.
Yes.
Which was super awesome to experience.
And even on the hikes where you are running into people.
Well, that's it. Like even the more popular hikes, you can almost always get like, even if it's like 5 minutes where it's like just you.
Yeah.
Your family, friends, or whoever your party's with, right? You can get that feeling where it's just like you guys.
We can wander our way over, because this is Wandering Ways.
What's Bigfoot possibility?
Clink. Hey,
how are we doing, my man?
I'm just trying to stay dry over here. Because I don't know if you've seen, what kind of sucks is this episode doesn't come out live. So like, I feel like a lot of the efforts, but a lot of people should know what's going on in the Yellowstone region by this episode coming up. They should see the flooding and the travesties and just sadness.
Yeah, actually, I think this is a great point or a great time to like point out how great the Wanderers are, because one, I've been let know by the Wanderers. The Wanderers have let me know about it. And then two, I've had Wanderers reach out about what to do now, since Yellowstone is probably still shut down by the time this comes out. The southern part of the park is open, but northern Gardner, Lamar Valley, I don't think that's open.
It's also shitty about that southern part that like people don't really understand is they're doing construction on that bridge that goes into Tetons too. So avoid Yellowstone 2022, everybody.
I know, it sucks.
Let the animals get back the park. Give them back the park.
I mean, they're not even there. The animals are probably not there at all right now.
I know. I saw a comment. This lady, she posted like, I had to sit my daughter down today and tell her we're not going to Yellowstone because of the flooding. And her only question was, are the animals all right? And, I made the comment, the dumb, ignorant comment of like, the animals are smarter than the people.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, so for anybody that's living in a hole, Yellowstone's been getting hit by massive flooding. And so, I mean, it's massive. And so
they were reading the water speeds at 14,000 CFS, which is insane.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is the 100-year plain. It's records. Nothing has ever been this high in this river before.
Yeah. But because it's so massive and there's so much water, I'm sure that there's animal casualties for
100%. Yeah. I mean, this is how you fish flooding. This is how fish change rivers and shit.
Yeah.
Is all stuff like this. It's crazy how this is. I mean, I don't know if you saw any of Jared's footage. I mean, I'm sure.
Actually, I think one of the spoiler alert, everybody. I think one of the cool shit in natures is actually one of Jared's videos.
Probably. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is
crazy because like there's a bridge where the water is going right to the top of it, basically, and that bridge, like a month ago, me and Jared canoed under it. And it was probably 10 feet over our heads.
I know it. I mean, it's crazy because like I was watching it on the news at the pub the other day, And I was like, we're looking at it, and I go, see that river? See that spot right there? I whitewater rafted right by it. Like I
You
know
did though.
exactly where that house is and that right there. I know exactly because I've been by it. I was on that river pedaling. I think I was even guiding at this part of the trek.
You were. And that river was moving then.
Yeah, right.
Like, you know what I mean? This is crazy. This is historic. It's not, no, you saw the pictures of Main Street and Red Lodge.
Yeah, I mean
This is
it's
river rocks,
yeah, I don't know if you can call it a street anymore.
right? It's nuts. It is crazy. I mean, here in Billings, today the water was about 10 feet on Monday. Today it's up to 17
Oh
on the
wow.
Yellowstone River. Yeah.
Oh,
So
I'm sure it's all the downwash from it, you know.
yeah. And the wedding venue where we're having the wedding is it has little puddles. It's not quite all the way flooded yet, but it's expected to go down tomorrow. So we should be good. But it's crazy, man. This whole they're talking about changing how where they even place the roads in the park because it broke those water planes. So it changes the ecology and all the other, just factors of like, no, this is the new 100-year plane.
I know. I remember you mentioned that to me. I think on the phone earlier. And
Yeah.
like I was sitting thinking about it later, and I was like, I was more thinking about like when are they going to open up this park again? But
Right.
because they have this change, right? You're gonna have to do a whole lot of research and figuring out where to like put the roads. Like this not a it's not gonna be an easy task.
Mother Earth took 2 days. 2 days
It
gone.
was to Mother Earth that was a
Yeah. But have I taken you up to the teepee rings there in Gardner
no,
in Yellowstone Park?
no.
So that sucks because like you
You
would get
you've
it.
talked about it. You've pointed it out. We've stopped near it, but we've never actually gone because there's no trail, right?
Yeah, there's a trail. You just
Oh,
have to know what you're looking for.
oh, oh,
Like there's a different hiking trail that goes by them,
oh, okay, okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
But so they're up on this hill, right? Away from the river.
yeah.
That's where natives camped, everybody. But oh, white settler, let's build it right on the river.
Well, it's pretty.
Like, exactly. Pretty comes at a cost. Here's your cost. Like, I saw I mean, it sucks. There's memories, that's your shit. Like you don't know what to do. Your whole life is turned upside down. I'm sorry, that does suck. But that comes with the cost. I saw some guy, he was 40 years ago. He's 70 some years old now. He built his house on the Stillwater River, and that river is flooding right now. And his house is gone. It just wiped it away, basically. And everyone like, oh, that sucks. He built it himself. But it's like, that's the consequence of living on the river is, yeah, for 40 years it might work out, but that 41st year rolls around and that flood, you have to be ready for the worst. Like Oklahoma, would you be surprised if a tornado wiped out your house in Oklahoma? No, because you're in Tornado Alley. Like you got to just think like the Indians put their teepees up on the hill for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the gamble you run. I mean, I
Right?
don't I don't think about flooding warnings where I come from. I think about, tsunamis. So,
There you
which is
go.
which is essentially a flood of the ocean if we really could like break it down.
Right.
So,
But
um
you're not building your house in the tsunami zone, probably, if you're living on the coast.
well, I don't know. I mean, it's difficult because like
You might.
well, it's difficult because you got to know where the true tsunami like zones are, right? Like where I went to elementary school, it's not an elementary school anymore. In fact, they sold the property. I don't know what they're doing with it. But when I was like in second grade, we actually had an earthquake that we felt from Alaska. We
Oh
had to
wow.
do the earthquake drill, get to the high point, afraid of the tsunamis, right? I think I was like in Oregon State and they redid the tsunami zone stuff. Our highest point, like where we evacuated to at my elementary school, that would be underwater.
So like, it's no point of evacuating then.
Oh yeah. I mean, even high school, like we we'd have tsunami drills, obviously, right? And it'd take us 45 minutes to get to the safe zone. Yeah, basically, like I remember being in high school going like, if this actually happens, like we're probably done because we have
But
to cross a bridge.
but you do have time in a tsunami sometimes. They do have hour warnings.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it depends on where the
Sometimes.
earthquake hits, right?
Yeah, it could be anywhere. It could be anywhere from like 5 minutes to like hours.
Right, like 8 hours. Because like Hawaii will be on those warnings sometimes when other islands, those volcanoes
Yeah.
and erupt, you know?
Like when Japan had theirs,
Yeah.
that's always the tsunami story I talk about because that one, the big one that happened in Japan, I was like, I think I was a senior in high school actually. And I remember I woke up late for school and I went down. I was like, I woke up late. Sorry. My parents go like, oh no, school's canceled. Tsunami. I was like, huh? They're like, yeah, school's canceled. Tsunami. And I was like how close? Like, do we got to pack up?
Because yeah, like you guys live on the coast. So like
Yeah. They're like, no, it's in Japan. We're fine. I
just
was
give big
like,
wings.
I was like, oh, I mean, I guess, but like, they were so nonchalant. They're like, no, you're good. Tsunami.
Ah, you're fine.
Yeah. I remember thinking, like, oh, good. Next time there's a fire, maybe I'll get a, hey, wake up.
Right? No, that's good, man. That's good. But it's life, right? We're just living it.
It is. It is. Speaking of coast, though, the
Yeah.
reason why you guys are probably here today, not to talk about water, although this park does get a lot of water.
Heck,
We're
it's even in
doing,
tsunami zones.
and it's yeah, it's kind of it all makes sense together.
Right.
But no, we are doing another good old Wandering Ways breakdown of the Redwoods National Park. We haven't like devoted a true episode to the breakdown. We
No, it's
have a
more just
small one when we talk about a good old the Sasquatch docu series about the where they framed our boy Big about murdering those weed farmers.
yeah.
But
Wasn't
this
him.
time we're devoting the whole shablamo.
No, I like it. I like that we're getting into this. Even the episode, you guys don't want to scroll that far. We get it. So we thought we'd bring it to you more of a true breakdown, more what to do in the Redwoods. You've heard a lot of like what we've done. I mean, heck, when we started the podcast, that's where you were.
Yeah,
So heard a lot about them. You were in them.
we've talked about Hyperion multiple times.
Exactly. The world's tallest tree. I have that. Right? It's 379 is what it says. Probably 380 now.
Maybe I don't know.
Erosion, went down like the roots, like they exposed themselves about. No, I'm just kidding.
I hope not. I mean, last
I
time
hope.
I was at Hyperion, it was a good little. I mean, there was no roots being shown.
No, I was just kidding. The measurement, like saying like it didn't grow taller, but the ground grew shorter.
Oh, the
Yeah.
stick. They used fun fact to measure it. They used actually just a classic ruler, and they did the whole like you're here, and then you flip it, and then you flip it.
Did they really?
No.
Probably like a string, really.
I think they use a string, or what a lot of times they'll do is they'll get like those old like stargaze things they use to
Oh,
navigate.
the angle, like they use for
Yeah,
construction
they'll
zones.
they'll use like that to measure it. They have way better technology. They don't have to. I don't think it's some guy that's out there with like a tape measure. He's got his little thing. He's like, all right, here we go.
If it was you, all you got to do is you just go like this, put your hand on it, and go, "Yep, 379."
For sure. For sure.
Like,
The guy that they're because people have climbed it.
right.
He's a professor. The guy that discovered it and climbed it. He's a professor at Humboldt. Now Cal Poly Humboldt, everybody.
I'm surprised you haven't like tried to climb at Redwood.
It's different than like rock climbing. Because if you think of like how the trunk is, right?
Yeah.
Your grip's more here where your fingers are to the sides rather than like on.
Yeah, I get that.
And
But
it's
I
more of like You actually, once you get the rope up, it's like more of a I think it's
A
uh
walk, right? Like you're walking
yeah,
up.
I can't think of the term where you kind of just you use the thing and you kind of like
Yeah.
pull yourself up. It's not like true climbing. It's not like rock climbing where it's like, all right, I got someone down below. It's time to climb, you know?
But I'm surprised. I'm still surprised you didn't try it. Like I feel like you like getting up places. I feel like the trees would have been one of them.
Oh, I mean, I would love to climb a tree, but like the closest branch to grab is like 100 feet in the air.
Right?
So
Right.
you have to climb a lot of trunk before you get to the branches.
Right. No ice picks
Oh,
hanging.
that's hurting the tree. We don't want to hurt the tree.
Dude, those trees can take fire, which is really cool.
Yeah, I mean they can take a lot.
Yeah.
But
No,
no,
but you don't
but
want to hurt
we're
them.
breaking down the park. We can talk about this park all day. And I honestly have no
Yeah.
problem talking about this park all day. But
You know,
we're not,
any of our friends at subpar parks even have words to say about this park. It's just trees and coast, everybody.
I have that sticker on my water bottle.
I know.
It's a great sticker.
So
Check
yeah.
out Subpar Parks. They got great stuff. Stickers, posters, books, calendars. She even does calendars.
Oh
Um,
shit. I like that stuff because I mean to me it's like you get that funny thing because it's like that's why we have this breakdown is it's more than just trees and coast. It's good times, it's good memories, it's
yeah.
unique culture. I mean that like if you want to get into the people in these towns and the culture of Northern California, especially this coastal Northern California where the redwoods are, that's so cool and unique to itself, you know? That's just the people.
Yes, 100%. But no, so how to get to the park? We'll start easy, basic. How the hell do you get to the park? Honestly, it's pretty tough. You know, driving is probably the best bet. I would
Well,
say cheapest, but you know, with gas prices nowadays, who knows? You could fly into the Arcata airport, which is actually in McKinleyville. Um,
which makes sense because like if you fly in, that's a smaller airport. It's one of those type of trips. If you are doing that,
you have to
um,
connect through either San Francisco, Denver, or LA. So
oh wow,
yeah,
so not fun at all. But you're in there if you're flying in, and that's kind of the best way to get in. I mean, I guess you could maybe fly into a Reading and then drive over. Um,
yeah,
but that's what you're essentially driving into the park, right? You're coming up 101 from the north, you're coming up 101 from Oregon in the south, you know, going south.
yeah.
You're
If you were to not fly into Arcata,
yeah.
the place I would actually probably fly into is Medford.
Oh yeah,
It's
we'll
a
do
little
that.
bit bigger of an airport than like Reading.
Okay.
So that's probably a better option airport wise. But I mean, you're still from there, you're looking at, well, how long did it take us the other weekend when you were down here? Like 4 hours?
Yeah, 3 4 hours, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was like 3 hours to Crescent City. And then from Crescent City to like Humboldt's another hour.
Right.
But you're hitting the park in Crescent City, you know?
And you're getting the vibe, which I like because this park is such a unique park with what you're saying. No matter which way I think you're driving through, you're getting the vibe of the park before you actually hit the park. You're starting to see some big trees. You're starting to see that Northern California majesty. You know,
Mhm.
you even get it a little bit coming in right when you're in Cave Junction, Oregon, and you're on that road coming in. You start getting it right after Cave Junction. You start getting that feel, and you're just like, wow, this is. You're driving by this. I think it's the Smith River.
Yeah.
You're looking at these giant trees. You're like, oh my god! If you have one of those like moonroof, sunroofs, open it up because you see like these things for just this immaculate glory of what they are.
Yeah, no, for sure. But regardless, you know, if you come from the north, you know, from Oregon, Crescent City's the first place you're gonna hit. That's like Jedediah Smith State Park. The technically the national park is a part of it too. You know,
And
so
that's
you'll
what's
hit some big trees. I mean, the Titans Grove is in Crescent City, and that's got I think like 5 or 6 of the tallest trees in the world. That
yeah.
grove alone.
And that's what you said. One of those trees is probably on pace to pass Hyperion, correct?
Yes, I think so, but I think it's like right now the tree that's on pace to pass um Hyperion is like only like 8 or 7 in the list.
Oh, so it's got like 10,
Yeah, it's
20
a
years.
young tree. So
Might not. You never
well, yeah, you know, climate change is a thing, you know. So
right
uh
as we're experiencing here at the
yeah.
Yellowstone, right?
But no,
No.
Jedediah Smith, that area is really cool. You know, first time I've really explored it was this last time when you were out here. And most of the time I spent most of my time down in like the Humboldt, Avenue of Giants, Oric, that area.
But it makes
Um,
sense, right? And
well,
that's
yeah,
what's
it's way closer, you know,
but
to where
that's
I'm
what's kind of cool about this park too, is no matter what way you're coming into it, even if you fly in, right? You're going to break it up, you're going to go in a direction, you're going to find things. And that's what's cool about like trees, right? They grow in these groves, right? They don't, it's not like Yellowstone, like here's the border. It's like, no, like these ones grew here, those ones grew
yeah.
there. You get some by the coast, some that are like you don't see the coast, but you're on the, you're on this path. And I liked it. I mean, I like the Crescent City spot that we were at. Like, that's a good, that was my first time there too. And it was unique. It's one of those ones you'll go back to.
Oh yeah, for sure. I definitely want to go check out that area a little bit more. Maybe I'll be doing it about the time this comes out, just because I'll have a little bit of time.
Bit
I
of
don't
free
know
time.
exactly when this comes out, but no, so that's the Crescent City, you know, that's Jedediah Smith. You know, you'll drive through the trees on your way like to like Oric, which is and Prairie Creek, which is kind of like the true hub of the national park.
I would say those are your main visitor center. I mean, you have the visitor center in Crescent City, and you have like some of the other like state park visitor centers, and there's another one down south, the Thomas H. Keikel. Oh no, that's the one in Oric. I'm thinking of the Hoochie Hiouchi visitor center, which are more south. But like you said, I think those ones are the true, like when you get that true visitor center feel right in the middle there.
Yeah. The one right by Oric is the big one.
Yeah.
You know, that's the one. That's your classic kind of visitor center, and that's actually it's a cool spot. It's right on the beach. Um, you know, you'll go. You have all the like fun info. That's where you go to get the code for Tall Trees Grove, which I believe you still have to request 24 hours in advance. I know they switched it when COVID happened, and I think you still have to. I have to double check.
It probably is. There's a lot of those that's, COVID changed, but it's stuck because it's like, hey, it kind of works out well.
Yeah, I know, but it's still like I don't know. That's even one like you could easily change back, and you could still monitor it because you have
It's
to
not.
go to the visitor center and say, "Hey, I would like to go to Tall Trees Grove," and then they'll be like, "Yeah, sure. Here's the code. What's your car? How many people? You know, that kind of deal."
Yeah, no, that's fair because it's also one of the coolest things about this park is it's not that crowded.
Yeah.
So like you're right, you can do that. Like it's easy for like us to go do it in a day.
Mhm.
I like that. It's cool, unique in that sense. It's different. It's a different park.
It is. I mean, it's also one you have to really go to in order to really appreciate it.
Yeah. And I mean, I forced my parents to go there last summer.
Yeah, and you know, when I've said it I say it all the time about those trees. You don't understand. You think I'm crazy. I'm just talking about trees until you get into the trees.
Well, it's where the official tree huggers come from, and it makes sense,
Yeah,
you know?
that's why I want to go to Sequoia because I know what the redwoods do to me. I can just imagine what those massive beasts of sequoias would do.
Right?
So I was kind of thinking of getting into sport fishing again, but I feel like I need a good quality net.
Well, you know what, Reverend? I got the key solution for you. Our friends at Blue Ribbon Net make this eco-friendly aquafade bag so you're not hurting the environment. It's 100% biodegradable. Plus, the wood is locally sourced and it is also biodegradable, and it's just such a great company to use. The Blue Ribbon Nets, they're here in Bozeman, Montana, and we even have a discount code. That's right. If you use the code Rougarou10, that's right. That's my Jeep, the Rougarou. Rougarou10, RUGARU10. You're going to get some discount on a Blue Ribbon net. You know, you can get the long one if you're fishing the big fish, or you can get just the good river one, you know, if you're like me and just want to catch a lot of fish.
So again, make sure you go check out Blue Ribbon and use the promo code Rougarou.
Hey there, Reverend. I heard that you might be running dry on your sticker supplier.
Yeah, I've been looking around and I've kind of like run out of cool stickers to buy and put on water bottles and stuff.
Well, I mean, have you seen the stuff Josh has been coming out with lately?
No, I have not.
Well, he is doing some really cool stuff with the Shop LS 574. Yes, they're working with indigenous communities and making some really cool stickers. He has a really cool Buffalo Mountain sticker. There's even water bottles, hats, sweatshirts, the whole swag. And we even got a discount code for you guys. Yes, if you use Wandering Ways at Shop LS 574, you're going to be getting a discount on your next purchase. But not only that, you're going to be giving a percentage of that sale to the Little Shell Tribe, as well as they donate $1 of every sale to murdered and missing Indigenous women. So just such a cool thing going on there. You know, you use the code Wandering Ways, WANDERING WAYS, and you put that in there, boom, you're getting a discount.
So yeah, when you go, so if you're still going from north to south here, right? You've done Crescent City, Jedi Smith. You keep going, you'll hit Trees of Mystery, which we talked about because we actually went and did it. Super cool. Kind of highly recommend you get in the trees. You can walk up in them, which is super awesome. If you don't want to do the tall trees to go hike up in the redwoods. You can, if you make your way all the way to Eureka. Eureka's got the Eureka Zoo. I think it's like the Sequoia Zoo or something. Okay. They have a redwood walk as well. So you can in the redwoods there at the zoo. They're in Eureka, California.
Oh, nice. I didn't know about that second one there. I mean, I'm sure you brought it up before.
It's fairly new. So
okay.
I think it's like less than 5 years.
I mean, I think you brought it up on when we went to Trees of Mystery.
Yeah, I probably have. But it's fairly new. I've actually never went to that zoo. No, so if you're still going south, don't want to do the Trees of Mystery, you didn't miss your chance to go hike up into the trees. You can go do the Eureka Sequoia Zoo there.
Right there too, right there by Trees of Mystery. You have the Yurok Reservation, and Matt likes to get his smoked salmon. So if you're into smoked salmon, I know that's a big part of the culture and the rivers up there. I saw actually in one of these books here I was reading where the salmon and redwoods kind of coexist together. They need one another, which is kind of cool. So
yeah, those trees are big for the ecosystem.
Huge.
A lot more important than people really think. But no, when you go past Trees of Mystery, the next big kind of stop in terms of the park, because the park's pretty spread out.
Yeah.
We're talking Prairie Creek, Oric, Tall Trees Grove, which we kind of mentioned a little bit. You have to go to the visitor center in Oric and you drive down. Super cool grove. Highly recommend. That's another grove. I think it's got like three of the tallest trees. It's like basically the Titans Grove and Tall Trees Grove have the 10 highest or tallest trees between those two groves.
Interesting. It's interesting, but it also kind of when you see that, they're also close to the ocean, and it makes
Or they're close to water, like a river.
yeah, and part of that, well, also is it? I wonder because rivers are foggy, right? They say they get 70% of their water through the fog.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if that helps that growth. But I like that Prairie Creek too, because that's where you'll see the elk.
Yes.
If you want to, in that part of the national park and the state park, you'll start to see some elk close to the visitor center or the campground there.
Yeah, you'll see them right there at the campground.
That was really cool. And then those meadows, when you get like around those trees, and then you get into those like meadows, it's a surreal feeling.
Yeah.
I like that.
That Prairie Creek campground's pretty good. I mean, we stayed in it the time with it was you, me, and Tyler.
Yeah, I like that one. You tried to put your hammock strap around a redwood and couldn't.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. Need a little bit bigger strap. Really wanted to, just couldn't do it.
I think you're an eighth of the way or something.
Yeah, I wasn't even close.
I know.
But no, that's a real cool spot. Prairie Creek. That's from the Prairie Creek kind of visitor center. You can do a hike that takes you to Fern Canyon, which we've talked about Fern Canyon before. Fern Canyon's super cool. It's this like small little canyon. The ferns roll it up. Yeah, Zach's got the picture of it right there. Watch Lost World, Jurassic Park movie. You'll see they film part of it there. It's super, super cool. That area just in general is really, really cool. If you don't want to do the long hike, and it's not crazy long, you can drive basically to the Fern Canyon. You have to have a car that can go in a little bit of water.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
And you also, that technically when you drive to it, it turns into state park. So you have to pay a state park fee. I think it's like $10.
Interesting.
But that gets you into Fern Canyon and Patrick's Point, which is another state park that's a little bit farther south on the road. So you can double dip if you wanted. Your fee for Fern Canyon will get you into Patrick's Point too.
Oh, cool. And that's also close to that Gold's Bluff Beach I see on the map here.
Yeah. If you're into agate hunting, that area on the beaches, awesome for agate hunting. I know that because I've done a lot of that. I got a little jar just behind me right here of all the little agates that I've found in my agate hunting days.
Oh, cool. No, that's really cool. That's I mean, I like, when we were down there, we were walking on the Crescent City beach. I was able to find that sand dollar. So
yeah,
you're into beachcombing.
Beachcombing's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll find the glass balls. You'll find like glass balls.
Yeah.
I don't know where they come from.
I heard up in Lincoln City and stuff, they'll actually hide them and put them on the beach and stuff. Like there's places that do that.
Oh yeah, I low key believe it.
Yeah.
But no, you go beachcombing, you'll find all sorts of cool shit. Oh. And I mean, well, speaking of cool shit, it's time for cool shit in nature. Today we're throwing back to what we talked about at the beginning.
Keep it real,
Yeah, we're talking Yellowstone flood. So we're going to open up with this first one. This one comes from the Yellowstone Instagram page.
Yeah, this road. This is I think this is right there in between Mammoth and Gardner, right?
I think so. Actually, I'm more because I think that's like the spot they're at right now is like,
look at that car. He's blocked in completely.
No, yeah, he's trapped. Yeah, it's nuts. So for the people just listening, this is a helicopter view of like the road, and the water is flowing hard, and there's just chunks of the road just gone. Like you can't even like go in the other lane type deal.
Can't like even go up on the hill to drive around it. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the little zone, I mean, that's it. You're done. There's no in or out there.
So yeah, that is. So you see off to the right there, that little trail going up that hill right there.
Yeah. Well, I think that with the start of this video is where we always see the bighorn sheep.
Yep. And at the end there, that little trail, that's where the teepee rings are, where it's green and there's no river flowing.
Yeah. But
I just did you see the video from ABC Montana with the boulders and shit coming down, and there's that guy in like the red Suburban, and you're just like, oh my god.
yeah, that one is nuts.
Yeah.
This one's not in Yellowstone, it's close, and this is the one I think that's Jared's video.
Oh, this is Jared's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mill Creek right there, the Yellowstone River.
Yeah, but I love because this one you see the bridge and the water's at the bridge.
And that's the bridge that was like 10, 12, 15 feet above our heads literally a month ago on a canoe.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I mean it's kind of nuts.
Yeah. Well, he did take a picture of this 12 hours later and it did recede a little bit, which was good. But they're expected to get more rains and the temperatures are supposed to reach like 100 degrees this weekend. So expect more.
Nice. So I don't know, get a boat or a surfboard and Calabunga, dude.
Yeah, he said he wanted to go park his Jeep in a puddle and fish off the top of it in like a puddle somewhere.
And last one is I'm sure a lot of people have seen this one.
The house going in,
Yeah,
the park
it's
house.
the house. And so that's employee housing.
I heard that they were there for 4 years, that family that lived in that one.
Oh, really?
That's what I mean, it could be wrong, but that's what I heard. But it's just
Yeah.
like you sit here, you're watching. This one's probably one of my favorite angles of this house because there's some other angles from the other side.
Yeah,
But
I've seen
this
the
one-
other sides. This is the stretch where like we know the house. Like we whitewater rafted past that house.
There he goes. There he goes.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's
God.
so nuts.
Like just the way that earth is just being eaten out from under it. Just like it's nothing.
And
Like it's
you see story or you see videos like this, and then like you think about like if you go do like the Gulf down in like Alabama, the Gulf there, Louisiana, where they have these houses like on the fucking beach where they're like stilted up. You're like, I always thought they were fucking crazy.
right. No, this is wild. This changes so much in that park.
Oh yeah.
So what I compared it to was the 1970s, the fire in Yellowstone.
Oh,
That's what this will do. You will see so many interpretive bullshit that the park puts out on the flood of 2022.
they will.
Mark my words, Ranger Zach. You heard it here first.
Oh, of course they will. You'll see signs of like, they see the glaciers where it's like, this was this year, this was this year. It'll be like the water line of 2022.
It's gonna be, but just think of the interpretive stuff too that they'll create. The like not the like the movies and stuff too that the park puts out.
Yeah.
Crazy. But we're not talking about that park anymore. We're going right back into the Redwoods. So I think kind of where's the next spot from Oric? You trying to say is that Eureka, McKinleyville, the heart of Humboldt. So that's a good resting point if you want to break up the days. I think, if you want to do like the north section first and then get into the southern section, I think that's a good. You're going to have your best choice at hotels, Airbnbs in this area.
Mm-hmm. Yes, 100%. You're gonna have. If you're not wanting to go the camping route to visit this park, Arcata, Eureka, Humboldt, or Crescent City are the two places that I would go to and make as like your base. Because even if you're like Crescent City, hour drive to the southern parts of it, Humboldt, hour drive to Jedediah Smith parts of the park. So either one, you're like, okay, and you're driving through parts of the park anyway. The Humboldt area might be a little bit better just because you can go south and you can hit, you can hit Avenue of the Giants. You can hit the Sequoia Zoo that I mentioned earlier, but Avenue of the Giants is super, super cool.
That was, I think, taking my parents on that because we took 101 down to the Chandler Tree all the way at the bottom, and we'll talk about more of that when we get down there. But we took 101 and then we took the Avenue of Giants back, and my dad was just in awe of like, holy crap, this is so cool.
It is when they do a really good job with the drive because I mean, you're driving. There's a lot of spots on even 101. You end up driving like in that area. You're like, bam, you're like, they like bump the speed limit down to like I think 20 because you're like literally dodging trees.
Right. Yeah, you see the trees that trucks have hit and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
So, even by Crescent City, there's a spot too like that. But no, Avenue of the Giants is really cool to just drive and stop anywhere. They have tons of groves you can go and stop by and check out.
And those little towns, right? Even those just little like tourist towns that love, you see all the wooden carvings or the you get your redwood sweatshirt, and you see the people like I think is interesting is the homeless people that decided to like live in the trees. I think you get more of that on the Avenue of Giants than anywhere else. I mean, for the tourist spots, really. Like, yeah, you gotta go get off the beaten path to go really find them. But you see a little bit more of it on the Avenue of Giants.
Yeah, well, Avenue Giants. I mean, that's where the Christmas tree is, or one of the albino redwoods are. So that's always cool kind of stop to make. That's a super cool kind of trippy tree. But honestly, like if you go in like the spring, you have like the clovers. It's super cool to have the clovers. That's why I love like the Tall Trees Grove, because the first time I went to Tall Trees Grove, there were a bunch of clovers, and like it was so weird because the clovers like made the boundary for the path. So you would think like it was this man-made path, but like I feel like you can't get the clovers to like grow in that pattern well enough to make it. It's such a trippy feel because you feel like nature made the path that you're on.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
And I mean, that's what I loved about, and that grove's cool anyway. But yeah, you just walk through like the clovers, and they like make this path. You're like, yeah. Next thing I know, I'm gonna come across fairies or elves making fudge. So,
oh, that's cool. I mean, that's really cool, and that's what you get, that vibe in the redwoods. And I definitely recommend at these spots. You take the Avenue of Giants, you take like Jedediah Grove or the Grove of Titans. Just park the car and do the mile loop or the little loops, because there's a lot of that going on in these parks. And exactly what you're saying, you get those fairy tale feelings walking through those little hikes. And there's good places, like I think even if you aren't like as able-bodied to hike and whatnot, you're able to get off, and maybe it's flatter in places and some than others, so you do get to experience it a little bit.
Yeah, what's nice about like the redwoods in general is there's not a lot of long hikes, like long distance stuff. There is some backcountry stuff, by the Tall Trees Grove, there's some backcountry stuff in there, but like in general, you're really, most of the hikes I would say are less than like 4 miles. It's a lot of like little loops, stuff like that. Of course you do hit longer ones every once in a while, but like the majority are these short little loops. You can hit a few in a day.
Exactly.
This grove, this grove, this grove, this grove, and just kind of make your way through them.
Well, and an interesting thing too, kind of on the Avenue of Giants, you have a lot of that too, is that's a lot of state parks. You kind of get out of the national park. The national park kind of ends there in Oric. That's kind of like some of the last actual part of the national park that you see.
Yeah.
You get into the state parks, and they're just as good, right? It's interesting too, because around the state parks you get like the private land where people have kept the trees, and you have the just like the communities in the trees. Like, it's just unique. It takes you like, what else? I'm trying to think what else we've seen down there, taking Avenue of Giants, just the crazy things. I mean, you follow like those rivers. There's a lot of cool rivers up there, which when you think of Northern California, it's like, when you think of California, you do not think like, get these pictures. You know what I mean? Like, this is when most people think of California, they don't picture the redwoods. They don't picture like the nature and the beauty that these places offer, you know. And it's just like,
100%.
I love it.
Yeah, I always get a big kick out of it. Because like Humboldt is in Northern California. And when you say like California coast, people think like 70-degree weather, beautiful beaches type. That's not Humboldt like at all. Humboldt is more like Oregon coast. If you said Oregon coast, you have this idea of what Oregon coast is. That's what Humboldt is.
Right. And it's
not, I always make the joke like Ashland to Medford is in Oregon, but it really kind of feels more like the true Northern California, like Redding and all that stuff. So
right.
it's like the two states should trade almost.
No, I get that, because you're absolutely with that coast, right? To me, it's like that Northern California coast, even up into Olympic, you can almost call it the Oregon coast, because it's all the same vibe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but and the people are very similar in how they act and the way they go to the big cities, kind of like, you know, like in Washington, the way they use Seattle, and Oregon, the way they use Portland, you know, just that like,
if you're living in like Monterey Bay, California, no one is calling you a coastie. But
right.
if you're living in Yachats, Oregon, you're being called a coastie. You know, you're being called a coastie the whole way up. You know, if you're living in like Long Beach, Washington, you're called a coastie.
Well, and that's exactly it's a coastie. It's not the beaches. They call them the Oregon beaches, but it's the coast.
Yeah, that's totally true. It's the coast.
So I love it. I mean, I love that whole area. Because when you hit that southern part of the park, you in the parks, you know, you kind of do tail away from you just kind of tail away from it all.
Yeah. I think that one of the biggest perks, and you touched on it earlier, but one of the biggest perks about this park is it's not crowded. Yeah. So when you do get into these hikes, right, you can almost always get a moment where you feel like it's just you and the forest.
Yes.
Which was super awesome to experience.
And even on the hikes where you are running into people.
Well, that's it. Like even the more popular hikes, you can almost always get like, even if it's like 5 minutes where it's like just you.
Yeah.
Or your family, friends, or whoever your party's with, right? You can get that feeling where it's just like you guys in the forest.
Right. No, I totally get that. The one place, and I think that's what I kind of consider the southern point of the Redwoods, is that Leggett. You know, you get down to Leggett, California, down to the Chandler Tree. You get into Leggett, stop at the Peg House. Great place to eat. Does not look as advertised off the highway, but you get there, it's amazing. Gotta throw that out there. But you get to go to the Chandler Tree, and I think that's one of my favorites, because you can actually drive a car. I mean, there's other trees you can drive cars through. There's one up by Eureka that you can do.
Yeah.
But this one is the iconic one.
Yeah. It's always cool to drive a car through a tree. I mean, you can do it in the sequoias too, but
it's different.
It's way different. But no, the Chandler Tree is really cool.
I like the Chandler Tree. I think it's the shape of it, the size of it.
Yeah.
They look, you know, even that little park and visitor center they got is neat. You know, I saw it when we went with my parents. They were setting up for a wedding, like over on one of the meadows.
That'd be a great place for a wedding.
That's probably where you're going to have your wedding, is the Redwoods. I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, I got to find someone to marry first.
Right. So
if you're interested, hit up the Instagram at Reverend Marcus.
Yo, go on the internet, getting the call out on the podcast. Send pics.
Yeah. Send your applications now to Wandering Ways Podcast at gmail.com.
WANDRINGWAYSPODCAST at gmail.com.
Put in the subject line like future spouse of Reverend Mark.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious if we actually got some emails. That would be funny.
If we got some of those, that would be.
That would be hilarious. I will pay you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. I'm broke. I'm broke.
No, but the Chandler Tree, that area is super cool to be able. And one of my favorite actually photos that we've ever really taken on any of our trips is the Polaroid with your old Kia Soul.
Right?
Because it's such, what I love about it is the Polaroid makes it feel like it's old, right? That it was taken in like the 80s. But it's still very modern. So, and it just fits really well with everything that's like that whole, the tree, the car, everything. So like that's one of my favorite photos we've ever taken.
That is a good one. That is a really good one. I couldn't take the Jeep through it. The roof rack was too tall.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that. Josh got to take his tree or his car through the tree. I think he was kind of cool about that. And there's another drive-through tree where it's kind of split.
Mm-hmm.
And we drove through in Josh's car, and they have like a park where it's like they have a redwood that's on its side. That's like you could drive your car up on top of it, and like things like that, which are kind of cool. But you talk about people, right? We talk about people and it not being crowded. But the last time you and I were there, just a couple months ago, the one thing that really stood out to me was we saw a sign that showed like 1 million people or 250,000 people, 500,000 people, something like that, come to the park every year.
Oh yeah.
Or come to this spot, this one spot. You may get like 10 to 25 deer a year in this spot.
And like 3 bears.
Yeah. And it's just like, that's it. And that's the wildlife. You have the elk. They even say there's mountain lions, but you don't see them. And that's the interesting with that part. Cause you see birds, but like, even then the birds are up way higher in the trees. They're not down below. You're not really seeing them as much.
Flying squirrels.
I didn't know. I haven't seen them.
I haven't either, but I heard they're there.
The only thing I have seen is the banana slug.
Yeah, the banana slug. And
the insects.
They have isn't it like a mink or something too?
Oh, but those things are so rare to find anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
They were hunted for their soft fur by the white.
I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but
I know. I'm
not out there killing them.
I love putting you on the spot sometimes.
I know you call me out for being whitey, and I'm like, yo, listen, I get it. You white people suck. I'm like on team like fuck white people.
Right.
I think I say it more than anyone around.
I know you do. I didn't know. Too, these trees, the big ones, the ones around that Hyperion size, 370 feet, they say are about 2,200 years old.
Oh yeah, they old as hell.
Yeah, they've seen a lot.
They have. But anyways, I got to be that guy. We're getting to the end. We're running out of time today. We're running out of the time that we normally do. But it is time for our final words. So, final words, my guy.
All right, my man. For my final words, I'm going to first start it off. I'm going to thank our friends at Wild Ridge Farms. Look at this box they sent me. Look how big this thing is, right?
Damn.
Full of jerky for our upcoming trips. Matt's not allowed to touch it because he's already bringing his own jerky, he said. And he doesn't share. I had that conversation with him or with Jared the other day. It's like, Matt will provide, like he'll say he's chipping in on a trip, like he's chipping in like money or whatever. His chipping in is his snacks, right? But it's like, here, have my jerky now that I'm snacking on it, but you can have a piece or two and I'll finish it right now.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's his contribution.
Yeah, he does. He really just does contribute like a handful.
But I mean, I'll give you, because I know you haven't tried it yet. I mean, you see on the Rougarou, the Matt does the jerky review on the Rougarou if you really want to watch, or on the YouTube. I've been uploading some of those videos as well as the Bigfoot moments of peace videos. So it's just simple, short nature videos you can see. But they got the Korean barbecue, which is my favorite, and then they got their original. But it's good stuff out of Canada. Ontario, Canada is where they're located, and they said, we're going to help the Wandering Ways crew out. So I was like, oh, thank you. I just definitely wanted to give them a shout out and a thank you officially here on the podcast for feeding us a little bit.
There we go.
I also want to thank the Wanderers for listening this far. I want to thank you for checking out the Redwoods breakdown, because we finally got you an official breakdown. If you have questions, go ahead and shoot us on any of the social medias. We're happy to answer them, or wanderingwayspodcast@gmail.com. But other than that, I'm not going to take too much time. I'm just going to hand it right on over to you, Reverend.
Oh, all righty. Well, Reverend's final words of wisdom. Stay beautiful, everybody. Cannot tell you how much I appreciate every single one of you for sticking through, listening to all the episodes. I really can't tell you how much I appreciate you. You all are wonderful. I love getting the feedback and stuff from about all the floods that are happening in Yellowstone. Peace out to them. They're going through it right now. But that's just classic Mother Nature being kind of pissed off that we're destroying her. So like, maybe we should take care of it a little bit more,
or listen.
Yeah, either or, one of the, we gotta do it. If you caught me doing the triathlon and marathon, I've been wearing a shirt for both of them that says "Save Our Oceans" on the back of it. So, we're out here trying to do it, try and take care, be better people, take care of the world. But that being said, peace out, everybody.
Bye.